Hello, dear people. Today we will recall things from centuries ago. UFO over Nuremberg in 1561. The celestial battle that shocked Europe. The UFO over Nuremberg in 1561 is one of the most discussed and at the same time most unexplained events recorded in European history. The case is documented not as a legend or rumor, but as an actual observation described and distributed among the population through printed materials of that time. This makes it especially valuable because it is not an oral tradition, but an event that reached people in an almost news-like form. Early in the morning of April 14, 1561, the residents of Nuremberg witnessed something that could hardly be described with the concepts known at the time. In the sky appeared numerous objects, spheres, disks, and elongated shapes that moved chaotically, changed direction, and according to eyewitnesses, even seemed to interact with one another. Descriptions speak of fiery balls, crosses, and tubes from which other objects emerged. Some of them moved quickly, others remained stationary, and still others collided or chased one another. The entire scene is described as something resembling a battle in the sky, lasting about an hour before the objects began to fall toward the ground or disappear. What makes the case so difficult to explain is the number of witnesses. It was not one or two people, but an entire city observing the event. For this reason, the descriptions are relatively consistent, even though they use different words and comparisons. Everyone sees the same thing, but explains it in their own way. Modern interpretations vary. Some scholars suggest it was an atmospheric phenomenon related to optical effects around the sun. Others believe it is a symbolic account connected to religious beliefs and warnings to society. But there is also a third perspective that is becoming increasingly popular, that the witnesses observed real objects whose behavior cannot be explained by known natural processes. If we examine the details carefully, we notice something important. The objects do not simply glow or move, they appear controlled. They change direction, react to one another, and behave in a way that suggests intelligence, or at least some form of guidance. This distinguishes them from typical natural phenomena, such as meteors or light reflections. It is also interesting that similar celestial battles are described in other parts of Europe during the same period. This raises the question of whether it was a single phenomenon or a series of events that were simply observed and recorded independently. When this case is placed in the context of other historical observations, a larger picture begins to emerge. Different eras, different cultures, but the same descriptions. Objects in the sky moving in ways we cannot fully explain. This coincidence is not easily dismissed as chance. The UFO over Nuremberg in 1561 does not provide a definitive answer as to what people saw at that time. but it raises a question that remains relevant today. If such events occurred hundreds of years ago and were observed by entire societies, then perhaps the phenomenon we call UFOs is not something new, but something that has always been part of our reality.